Tamales have a long history. I think that was the most amazing thing for me as an adult to find out that I could make a food that had thousands of years behind it. A tamalada was not so much about the product or that we were going to make a tamal to eat, but it was in the process of making this tamales.
Now for the fun part.
This is the magic. Now we're going to put together a tamal, and we'll make lots of tamales. So first of all, at the grocery store, you buy hojas. Hojas are shucks, and they come dry, but they're beautiful, already cleaned and everything, but they're dry. So what we need to do, cariño, is for you just soak those, right? And why did we soak them?
You want them to be pliable, and then also they're going to steam, so it adds another layer of insulation so that the masa and everything steams in here so nicely.
Oh, wow. And so then there's an art to picking the hoja. So the hoja has to be, it's got a natural thing. It's rounded. So lay it on your hand. I put the wide part to the bottom and the narrow part on top. How do you do yours?
I do it the opposite way.
The opposite. Oh, well. But anyway, remember she already showed us when the masa is ready. I use a knife. What do you use?
I use a spoon, and I've even seen people use these things called tamal scrapers, and they're basically like spackling.
Exactly. Now, the other thing that I've figured out is I like masa. I love the flavor of masa. So I might make mine a little bit, thicker on the masa, though my mother liked exquisite tamales and hers had to be very thin and pencil thin. But this is how I put it, kind of like a rectangle. I don't do it all the way to the bottom because I don't like for the masa to, come out of the hoja. So I make like a big rectangle, and these are my chicken ones. So then I'll put some chicken, maybe about a spoonful. Do you think that's enough or too much?
No, I think that's good. And I think people should know that you only go up about 2/3 of the way. I've seen people try to go all the way to the edge and then you can't fold it.
So make a rectangle, and mine could be a nicer rectangle. Then what I do is grab hold of them like this, and then I go like this, and then I just roll it.
Oh, I like that.
And then when you open them up, it's a round one like a machine made. And then, do your meat.
Okay, so I put about this much right in the middle, and I like that little bit of extra masa around the edges, and I do this because, and I kind of...
Okay, you fold it over like an envelope. Okay.
And you pinch it right here.
Yes. And then which way do you fold it? Do you go back?
No, I go kind of where it naturally will fall like this.
Okay, like this. Well, I do it to the back because it makes it straighter, and then it holds its shape there, and then we line them all up in here. So let's make a couple more, and then Maria is going to show us how to put them in the pot.
It really is an art to make them look so beautifully shingled in there. It's so nice.
Oh, Maria, can you come show us how to put them in the pot? And let me give you another hint, and that is you have to have somebody who knows how to put them in the pot, because otherwise it becomes a mess. And so for them to cook properly, now watch, she makes like a teepee. You put one at the bottom, Maria, and then you put that one on the top, and then she starts lining them up. And you don't need to put that cup in the middle like you used to. Look how beautiful she does.
Remember before you'd have to turn a bowl upside down?
Yes,
or something?
yes. We cook all our meat ones and our chicken ones all in the same pot.
I usually put them in different pots because they release different flavors. The chile ancho and the poblano, they have different aromas. So I like putting them in different pots. And do you want to know a trick that my grandmother taught me? She would put a penny heads up on the bottom of the pot in the water. And one, that was for good luck, but then also you would know if it started to rattle that people were lifting the lid and the water was gone so that they wouldn't burn.
By the way, do you ever lift up the lid?
No.
No. So we put a pot on that's only one person has put all the tamales in. By the way, remember when we look at our hoja, it's got a natural drop, that it comes like this, but also you feel it to see which is the soft side. It's got a smooth side because the rib side, if you put the masa where the ribs are, that sticks on there. So you want to make sure that it doesn't stick to the hoja. And the hoja is shuck. Once it's been stacked up evenly, not overcrowded, and leaving space in the middle from the little teepee, you want some air to you want the steam to come up along the sides. Then you get a secador. That's a Spanish word for a dish towel. Pick a nice one. Pick one with a little lace on it that your great-grandmother made, or pick one like this one that's my granddaughter painted it, and we use it on the pot that's making her favorite tamales, which are the pork ones. And so then you wet it, the dishcloth, and you put it around so that the whole thing is covered. And then you just put the lid on it, and in this modern day pot that tells you how to get the measurement for the water, you pick, it's heavy. You pick it up and you put it on the stove. It takes 2 people to do that.
And this has a little steamer pan right here, and then water on the bottom to this line.
And so you don't have to worry about the penny. But I would put the penny just because it's a tradition. And so heads up, right, you said?
Heads up for good luck.
Oh, heads up for good luck. And also that if you hear it rolling, it's got water.
Yeah, it's almost out of water and you need to add more. Your tamales will burn.
Then you turn on the fire, and really it should be at a good boil. Is that too much?
Let me see.
No?
That's good.
That's perfect. So put on a big flame on there and put the top on it. Don't open them, cariño. Wait. It takes about an hour for a pot of tamales to be ready. And you'll start smelling them. And then when they're ready, just be ready for a good one.
Have your salsas ready, your drinks.
It's been an hour, cariño. We get to try the first tamal to see if it's done.
Part.
And there's another tradition. The matriarch tastes the first one. And so you pick out a tamal. Oh, it's nice and hot. It's kind of hot, but that's okay. And you open it up and see how it opens up, and then watch how it's done. Look. It has to roll out like this. Your tamal is done. That means it had enough lard in there and it was able to just slide out. So let it cool a little bit and then roll it out. If it sticks to the hoja, they're not done. So make sure you have water and steam them a little bit more. Okay, so I am the matriarch, so I get to taste the first tamal and proclaim the good tamal for this year.
Is it good?
Enough salt. Not too much lard. The flavors are mingling. Now I'm tasting the comino, pepper, and that pork. It's delightful. Oh my gosh, the chile poblano is what makes a good tamal. So, you are the next one to take a bite of the other side. There. ¿Cómo está?
I know what you mean now. Well, now we've got plenty of tamales, so we can invite our friends over.
Ready? All we need is salsa, coffee, and tamales, and ready to have a good time and celebrate our good efforts. Wonderful. We need an abrazo for this. Oh, you did a marvelous job. And thank you for teaching me some tricks.
Oh yeah, anytime. Thank you.
I think there's no right or wrong way to make tamales. A good tamal is the one that sparks up your memory. That this tastes like what my mom made, or my tia made, or my grandmother made. So that is the right way. So everybody's memory, culinary memory, is different.
One of the things people always say is, I wish I would have learned how to make something from my grandmother. And a lot of times, you know, you didn't capture that recipe just right, or that memory is not the same because you didn't learn those things. And so it's really important to me that, you know, people are able to hear from someone that's been making tamales for decades and decades, just how it's done, so that they can pass on those traditions to their kids and their families and future generations. I want to teach my children that having these traditions are very important, because it's not just about getting a food. You know, I could go buy tamales somewhere else, anywhere, even pick them up from our own restaurant. But knowing the efforts and how everything comes together, from the grinding of the corn to the making of the fillings and the filling of the tamales, it's all a process, and it's really important to know where it comes from and why it was created that way.
The Tamalada is so important to San Antonio because it is San Antonio. It is our history to make tamales. And to make tamales requires to bring together a group of people to do it, which is a tamalada. San Antonio needs to know what its culinary history is, be able to describe it and articulate it as such. This is what San Antonio is. Tamales are part of our culinary history because it goes back hundreds and thousands of years. So this is who we are. As soon as we can declare that, then San Antonio can say we are unique in the mere fact that we're not only eating a food, but preparing a food that has hundreds and thousands of years in its history. There's not many other places in the United States that can claim that. Our city will always recognize the importance of our culinary history and recipes, and that the most foremost one is the making of tamales, because it has the longest history of all. Of all, that is the one that really embodies the full history of who we are and why we are and where we are.